What's up everybody, Moses here bringing another Path of Exile video, and this time, how to level up with Poet Spins. Well, it's really easy. All you need is basically Poet Spins and a couple of, total of, I guess, 100 chaos worth of items. Um, so yeah, this is some stuff that you should have in like your leveling tab. It's really nice and simple and easy. At level 1 you get Freeze Pulse. Freeze Pulse basically is going to carry you throughout the entire leveling process. At level 12 you're going to get Arc, which is also going to carry you throughout the entire leveling process. At level 1 you pick up Sprigs, Life Sprigs, right here. You dual wield those. If you have them, preferably 7 League Step. If not, then Wanderlust for some movement speed at level 1. But these will actually make a pretty huge difference. So yeah, I just reached level 70. I just entered the mines, basically. And this character played is 4 hours and 58 minutes, and as you can see. So level 70 in 4 hours, and sub 5 hours total. Which is pretty ridiculous. Level 70. It's the fastest character I've ever made. We basically, in 3.5 hours, I reached Blood Aqueducts. I grinded Blood Aqueducts from level 54 to level 70. And here we are. Just, yeah, mines. So yeah, level 1, Life Sprigs, you do whatever. Freeze Pulse, Onslaught, doesn't matter. Added Lightning, added Cold. At level 8, you attach those on your tabula. Awesome. Once you're level 12, you can equip Poet Spins. They require only level 12. Alright, so when you have level 12, you equip 2 of them. One with Arc, added Lightning, added Cold. The other one with Freeze Pulse, added Lightning, added Cold. That's pretty much it. You have these set up until around level 50, 55. At level 50, 55, you're going to have enough crit, so you will change the added Cold from Arc into increased critical strikes with added Lightning, and you will change the added Lightning from Freeze Pulse to increased critical strikes with added Cold. So you get Freeze Pulse, crit, and added Cold for one wand, and the other is going to have crit, arc, and added lightning on the other one. Yeah, I leveled up as a Scion, so what I ended up doing, as quick as I could, you pick up the spell damage, and jewel socket, and you put the first snow that gives you 2 additional projectiles, so that your Freeze Pulse has 5 projectiles. And then and then you go mana socket, and you put your second first snow. Later on you respec, and you're gonna stick the second first snow over here, but first and foremost you go for these 2, first for the spell damage, and then for the other one over here. Afterwards I went Constitution, just grabbed a bunch of life, and then I went upwards. I didn't take this jewel node at all. I just ignored it, and I went up. I picked up Heart and Soul, stopped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cruel Preparation, stopped. And then I turned left, went to Discipline and Training, Elemental, Light of Divinity, and Holy Dominion, stopped there. And then at that point I went through all the intelligence. Didn't take this is only for very later stage. Didn't go in here, just continued going down, cold-hearted calculation. Then I went into elemental. Okay, I picked up crit later on and I respect, so I went elemental, trickery, blood siphon, and stopped. At this point I went up, picked up all the life, and then I went up, skipped the crit for spells, and I went all the way down to acrobatics. From acrobatics I picked up the life nodes, And at that point, I started filling in the crit. So what I did was crit for spells, annihilation, all the crit, respect, and put the crit nodes over here, and then all the crit. That's basically it. The character is level 70. I was rushing. Oh yeah, and I picked up the life nodes here. The character is level 70. I was rushing super quickly, just leveled up, zoom, zoom, like this. You go to Blood Aqueducts. I started this at level 54. You open a new instance with control, right? So if you press left click and control on the waypoint or on an entrance, you can open a new instance. And then just zoom, zoom, zoom. Everything gets one-shotted, freeze pulse and arc. Everything just cascades, especially once you start filling in all your crit. You pick up basically your crit. You're only getting into your crit around level 54, 50-ish. Something like that. Until then you go just elemental and you don't really care about crit. Once you do go crit, you do want to also get yourself a diamond flask, because it makes a big deal of a difference, especially because your increased critical strike gems are pretty low. And yeah, you just kind of like one-shot everything, and this is super quick. If you don't have 7 lead step, those are like 1.5 exalts right now. They run between 1 to 2 exalts. Depends on what day of the league you pick them up. You know, if it's early in the league, they're going to be a bit more expensive. If it's deeper into the league, there's going to be abundance. And they may go for a bit cheaper, maybe even 1 exalt. I actually picked mine for only 1. Yeah. So you go up and down, up and down. We're currently in Delve League, so you're picking up pretty much all your sulfite at this point. So I did this all the way to level 70. At level 70, 69.8 or something, almost 70. I was like, okay, I have like 3k sulfite, that's enough. It's time to go and do the Nico quest. I just did the first node in the Azurite mine. When you want to level up in Azurite, make sure that monster level is 68. If you go to monster level 69, you see this length right here. This is a perfect example, because depth 89 monster level 69 versus depth 88 and above, and monster level 68 or lower. What happens is the destination is going to cost you like twice as much sulfite. So you know, here it's kind of a short route. If you compare it to here, this is 108, so you can see the difference. This is a huge delve, right? It's super long. It only costs you 108, and this is like half as short, and it costs you 123. So there's kind of a huge difference. So what you want to do is see just 32. Another, it's going to be 32, and then you kind of like, you want to go up. You want to travel between somewhere around 67, 68, so that you don't spend too much sulfite. But of course, this is not going to be very relevant for later on, just for the current Delve League if you're leveling up. Kind of important to note. Yeah. When it comes to the rest of utility links, you just want frenzy and faster attacks. This will proc your Poet's Pens. Until you have frenzy at level 16, you only use auto attack. Auto attack will also proc your, you know, default attack will also proc your, you know, socketed spells. But of course, frenzy and faster attacks later on is going to give you a bit more attack speed, so you're going to proc the spells more frequently. Summon Soul Golem is kind of irrelevant. I'm just leveling it up because lab, maybe I get stuck and I'll need, you know, to regenerate some life, so it's nice to have it, but you don't need it really. Immortal Call and Feeble, cast when damage taken. This is a setup that you need when you reach Act 6. Herald of Thunder you get when you reach level 16, and that's in Act 2. So I was running Herald of Thunder and Herald of Ice. Phase Run is level 30 something. Whenever you can get it, Act 6, you get Phase Run with increased duration. That's in Act 6. And Flame Dash Faster Casting, I have it here on a 4 link, but you can put it whenever, it doesn't really matter. So flame dash, faster casting, phase run, increased duration. Yeah. If you don't have these gloves, which you actually shouldn't have these gloves, then you want Flame Dash, Faster Casting, and Arcane Surge. But these Command of the Pit are nice for leveling because when you use a Hypnotic Eye Jewel, which I currently have, whenever I use a socketed spell and it hits an enemy, right now it's not showing, but whenever you hit an enemy, you gain Arcane Surge on hit with spells. And Arcane Surge is a nice buff. So what you want is, if you don't have these gloves, which you normally shouldn't, then Flame Dash, Faster Casting, and Arcane Surge. Because these are Delve League only, so I don't know what's going to happen in the future, if they're going to be available or not. But they're pretty nice gloves for leveling. Maybe some late game opportunities for these gloves as well for certain builds. Especially with the double socketed ones. Herald of Ice we talked about. Warlord's Mark and Blasphemy is how we leech. It's how we regenerate life mana. And when you can use that, this is around level 36, somewhere in Act 4. When you can use that, then you can get rid of your mana flask. Okay, so this is something to keep an eye on. Generally what I do when I start a new character, I pick up these gems as they are level 1, and I just stick them in an inventory along with a bunch of other gems, and I kind of like pick them up and set my things up in Act 6 and in Act 4. Okay, so in Act 4 I get my Warlord's Mark Blasphemy. I set up the Arcane Surge, Faster Casting. This is a bit earlier. Arcane Surge, Faster Casting, and Flame Dash. Yeah, and you know, in Act 2 you get your auras, which is your Herald of Ice, Herald of Thunder for this type of build, because we're lightning and cold. And yeah, Frenzy, Faster Attacks at level 16. You kind of like get used to it, because once you level up it's very, very easy and smooth. Like 5 hours, character level 70, it's ridiculous. I do have a Herald of Thunder here, Immortal Call, Enfeeble, Cast some Damage Taken. This is in Act 6. It's very easy to just talk to Lily after you're done, and before that you don't really need Cast some Damage Taken, Immortal Call, and, you know, Enfeeble. So yeah, that's basically it. Diamond Flask is important. Make sure you have an Adrenaline Flask or whatever. Chemist of Adrenaline. You see all the suffixes of my flasks are all Adrenaline, because all I really need is heat and staunching. You can also get a warding flask to remove curses. That's kind of rare, but yeah. Another flask is that you want is probably yeah, when you reach level 60 you want like the higher tier staunching flask, but that's really kind of like a bit later into the character's life. Yeah, at this point I am level 70, and the whole point for me is to reach level 80 as quick as I can, so I can use rings that I don't currently have on. Over here it's Mark of the Shaper and Warlord's Mark on hit on a ring. So like in here it's a different scion. So Mark of the Shaper is a ring that requires level 80. It gives you increased spell damage if your other ring is an Elder item, and on your Elder item you can get a roll with Warlord's Mark on hit, which instead of having Warlord's Mark Blasphemy will just allow you to leech life and mana from enemies and get your endurance charges. Excuse me. Just by using the ring, so you don't have to reserve your mana, and then your mana can be used for other stuff. By the way, I borrowed these Poet's Pens from my, you know, from my level 97 Scion here, because it's really nice and comfortable and easy to level up with. So the spells are here, and we're building a new character now, so I just kind of like thought to stop and make a video about it. So when you want your level 80 to be able to equip your endgame rings, you know, you need to first reach level 70 with Blood Aqueducts, and then, because the area level of Blood Aqueducts is a bit low, it's like 61, and there's only so much experience you can get over there. For me it was up to like 69.8, or so, then I realized, hey, I'm actually leveling up pretty slow here. It's time to go to the mines. So I went to the mines, which are here, all the wrong waypoints. And then inside the mines, let's reset. Inside the mines, if your character is solid, you shouldn't be changing anything. But yeah, let's just go and do a 32 sulfite trip, just for you to see. And we got 3.1 thousand. So that's a lot of sulfite that we have for short trips. Remember that, level 68. So yeah, we're like here right now. And yeah, you just spam your flasks. Make sure they're up all the time. The diamond, the onslaught, the sulfur for the increased damage. You can also dive the darkness or whatever. Try and farm for some fossils. You can do whatever you want. Like, there's no rush to level up the character quickly, right? And in these areas, you can basically get every single fossil or resonator in the game, right? So. But yeah, see how Arcane Surge is always up with 4 seconds? It's the blue buff at the top of my bar. It's pretty much always up with 4-second uptime. It doesn't go down because I always hit monsters with spells. And just check out the experience bar, how crazy it is. Just chunks, just moving all the time. So it's very, very fast to level up in the mines, and that's pretty much what I've been doing. 300 million experience just here. Obviously it's going to be like around 250 or so. So you just go to the next node. Again, if you want, you can toss a couple of flares over here. Maybe there's a fossil or whatever. But yeah, this will kind of slow you down if you're in your mindset. You just want to level up quickly. You want to get into those sulfite instances here, or sorry, azurite instances, and just kill things as quick as you can. It's basically the idea. And before you know it, you'll be level 80, because this is super quick, and you just gotta make sure not to step on monster level 69 or higher, because then it's gonna make it substantially more expensive, and you wanna keep your sulfite so you could do more runs. And again, look at the XP bar. Just as I'm talking, it just keeps moving really, really, really quickly. And that's how you level up, pretty much. A couple of other things that will go across, whatever you're doing, no matter what league. This is a bit more specific to the Delve League, but it's, of course, you can apply that. See, 320 million XP per hour. It's roughly going to be around 300 million XP per hour if you continue running. So we talked about first snow. You can also do it with magma orb. There's also magma orb jewels. It really depends on whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. I should have magma orb jewels here. So inevitability, right? Magma orbs with an additional projectile, so you can have 2 of them, and magma orbs fire 3 additional projectiles. If you prefer to do it with fire, you can do it with fire, and you can use magma orb as well from level 1. I just chose to go with freeze pulse, and I never really changed anything, and I just kept zooming in, zooming on, whatever. So yeah, a couple of other things. Barracks rings, barracks grip, barracks pass, extremely overpowered. They give you flat elemental damage to spells. This one gives you lightning, the other one gives you cold. Yeah, this one gives you a little bit of life as well. I'm not sure about the other one. Maybe it gives you armor while frozen. This is definitely the better one. I picked it up for like 25C. I actually had it for a very long time. You can equip them from level 20. Another thing is Astromantis. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just kind of like allows you, see, to just completely be all set when it comes to your stat points. So from level 20, you just put one on. This one happens to be perfect, but it doesn't have to be. It really doesn't matter. It runs 80 to 100, and even if it's an 80 roll, you can still get whatever you want while you're leveling. What else haven't I said? Yes, One more thing I haven't said, and it is this ring. There. Praxis. You can pick this one up from level 22. People use Elrion ring. I personally just use this one from level 22. This is pretty much where you need your mana. And yeah, you don't need any more mana. And when you use one of these. So what I do is one of these and Le Hoop of all. Le Hoop also gives you resistances and whatever. So level 22, 24, you can pick these two up. And at that point you don't really need resistances, but later on you will, because when you kill Kitava in Act 5, you move on to Act 6. This is basically when I changed it, but of course you can already remove Praxis and use Barracks, which is the setup I was running, when I reached somewhere around Act 4, and I was able to use Warlord's Mark and Blasphemy Curse. So I had my Leech, I didn't care about mana anymore, and I removed my mana flasks once I had Warlord's Mark Blasphemy, and that's when also I removed Praxis, because I didn't need any mana at all. This happened around Act 4 or so, and then I picked up Beric's Grip, and it's insane. The damage is really, really good. Like 1 to 66 is huge and gives you some cold damage for your Freeze Pulse, and of course, you know, yeah, it's straight up a solid ring. And yeah, when I reached look at my resistances now. So when I reached Act 6, I was missing some fire res, so I kicked this ring and I was using this one instead. So my resistances were always, throughout the entire time, 75. And then I kicked these two, and I just had a life resist ring. Nothing too special about it, just some fire resist that I needed, some life, and this Barracks 2-stone ring. Which you don't really need to have, but it's just really nice. You can use the other barracks, the Barracks Pass. Both of them are pretty cheap. Barracks Pass is like 2 chaos or 3 chaos or so. It's excellent for leveling, and it only requires level 20, both of them are. So this is kind of like the idea of how to level with Poet's Pens, and some other tips and tricks, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and that's all I had to say about it for now. So thank you for watching, and see you guys on stream. Bye bye, guys.